All right, how you doing? My name is Jeung, founding partner of the Jeung Agency. I'm with Mark Banks, CEO of my of our firm. Little intro: we do retirement planning, we do wealth management, and life insurance, of course. So today I just want to talk a little bit about. I just got off a call with one of my clients actually that I helped out, and this is something really new to the space, which is a lot of people are confused with the 401ks or 403bs or 457s. They've been laid off and they really don't know what to do with them. So we're going to talk a little about different products on this. Let's get you some education about what's out there, and more importantly, the way to act and just our own strategies, what we're doing here at Jeung Agency. If you want more information, you can go to jungagency.com to set up a call or to learn about our products. So Mark, what's going on right now in the space you see, like you feel right now with our clients that we're signing on and bringing on right now? What is the mood overall for their clients?
Mood overall is everyone's kind of looking to get out of variable products. Just the way that the uncertainty in the market is right now, everyone's very concerned about protecting their principal. They've accumulated all this money working all these years, and maybe they're approaching retirement in the next 10, 15 or 20 years, and they're concerned that a lot of the money they put aside is not going to be there. They're losing money in their portfolio. So what they're looking is to get into something that's going to protect what they've accumulated over this time, and also guarantee growth. So we've been helping out a lot of people move into a fixed indexed annuity with one of our top carriers, Athene. They're like one of the if not number one in the space for annuities. They're definitely top two. So we're helping a lot of our clients get into a fixed indexed annuity, namely the Performance Elite, which provides them a 9% bonus. And if you're in the state of Arizona, I believe one other state, they do
10%. Hawaii and Arizona gets 10% actually. Yeah, we had one of our clients got 10%, which was amazing. She instantly got 10%, which was she was very happy about that.
Yes, I mean, so and in layman's terms, basically, if you're rolling over $100,000 from 401k from a previous employer, immediately you're going to be gifted a nice $9,000 right away, which is, I think that's pretty amazing, just off the bat. So just starting there, obviously there's no downside risk with this product. The main concern with the 401k is that when the market's volatile, so that basically means you have the potential of losing a lot of money very quickly. We've seen dips of 20-30% at one time, which basically means the market needs to do double that the next time around to kind of make up for that loss, which doesn't typically happen. So what happens to a lot of people is they're breaking even pretty much or less than after a long period of time, which is not ideal for a retirement plan because you're looking to grow that money. So with this product, you're guaranteed growth every year. So if there is a down year, you just don't get any credits for that year, but you don't lose any money. When the market does perform, you are credited based upon that. There's multiple strategies that you can use for that particular product. Strategy that you kind of spearheaded as of recently is the BNP Paribas indexing strategy, which is a 2-year strategy.
Yeah, I love it. I love a 2-year strategy. You get more alpha, more upside potential. You have 220% participation, which is 2.2 of the index for 2 years. So we can only rebalance every 2 years. There's a 1-year strategy. There's a NASDAQ strategy. There's another just a total stock market strategy as well. But I've done the numbers and a simulation. I think in 5,100 simulations, I believe. Don't hold me to it. They had no down years back to back. So that's the reason why I chose that strategy. At this point in my career, working at Merrill Lynch in my early years when I was in my 20s, about capital appreciation during the stock market, during the rise of that. And I saw the devastation of people losing money, and that was very painful. So at that time, annuities were not that very popular back then. The insurance company were kind of known as pariahs, charging excessive fees. They were adding no value. When I was a financial advisor at Merrill Lynch, I was like, oh, if you policy at John Hancock or insurance company, you're getting ripped off because I can do so much better for you with lower management fees. But everything has changed now. There's a new normal. Banks are failing. Back in 2008 with Merrill and Morgan got bailed out by a Japanese company. AIG got bailed out by the federal government. Bank of America got bailed out by Warren Buffett. Actually, if you guys don't remember, Bank of America was about to go under as well with that Warren Buffett's capital. So this product, I'm really excited about it because I just got on the phone today with a client today. We rolled over about $400,000, and his policies, his account going up and down and stuff like that. And I believe he had like $60,000 in match, plus he rolled it over from his previous employer. So he had probably employer contributions, I would say probably over $100,000. And now I can tell him and say, hey, for your family, for your daughter, that $400,000 is what your daughter's going to get, no matter what happens with the market, worst case scenario. But on top of that, he's going to get 9% match, like you said. So he's looking at 436 from the get-go. But more importantly, that money's invested day one. It's not like that 36,000 is on the sideline and you can't participate in the market. So you have $36,000 going to participate. So he's way ahead than if he was still with this Vanguard fund, this 401k with this Vanguard fund, because to make 9%, that would take him probably a year, which is the average of the S&P 500. He wouldn't even get that. So he's realizing that now and he's capturing that as well. So then people say, oh my God, these insurance companies, the caps or whatever, but this indice that we and you choose there are no cap strategies, because we don't want to be limited on the upside, and we want to be protected on the downside. There are a lot of insurance companies out there with caps, and they're terrible, like 8.5%, 9.5%. S&P 500, it's a horrible cap. Now, you'll probably do okay in terms of, because you have that downside protection, you'll never have a down year. But me, as you know, I'm all about alpha, about generating returns from our clients. And that's all I care about in investment. But more importantly, I'm about preserving wealth. I want to preserve your wealth and grow it at the same time. It's not mutual excuses. I can preserve it and grow it at the same time. So if you're in the market, 401k or stock market, like bad day today with Tesla's numbers, I'm still bullish on Tesla. But this is not investment advice. You're doing due diligence. But those swings are huge, because if you're going to retire like next year and you draw down 20%, let's say your portfolio is at $1 million and you lose 20% in a year and you retire, maybe you can't retire this year. Maybe you got to wait the following year after that, because you've done the calculations where you need $1 million to retire and you have 800,000 now. So we got to wait. But the problem here is that if you're down to 800,000, and you're up 20% that the following year, you're not whole. You're only at 960. You're not whole. You need way more performance. So when people are retiring, that's what's important of this fixed index annuity. And that's why they're so bombarded with business right now, because the fact is insurance companies do not go belly up. They're not like the banks. They're great managers. They have passive income that's coming in. They really knows how to manage risk. They're the best risk managers in the world, insurance companies by far. And it's great, 9%, no cap strategy, plus life insurance. Another thing is that 2024, they're changing the estate tax, because Donald Trump, he made it like amazing in terms of the exemption. It's going to go back to, I think, around $5 to $6 million. Above that, you're going to pay 50% estate tax. I'm not a CPA, but it's going to be excessive. So this is a life insurance policy that's wrapped into it. So any of these funds will go straight to your beneficiaries tax-free. And that is the biggest thing, opposed to, getting it to your daughter, what potentially it may be an ordinary income situation. So that's what I'm passionate about. I'm doing a lot of 401k rollovers, 403bs, 457s, and 401ks, because I think a lot of people just don't know about this product. They just, when I talk to sophisticated people in the Silicon Valley, they just have no idea what this product, and they keep on saying to me, how is this possible? How is this possible? How does this work? So I spoke with the rep actually to get that better understanding of the nuts and bolts of this product, if this is like real, because if I'm going to advise this to my clients, I'm going to make sure this is like a sustainable business and how they're going to manage risk.
Right.
But they told me they go out and buy options contracts on whatever index, S&P 500 or the Dow Jones or the BNP Paribas. And then they go out and buy contracts. Sliver of that money goes in the option contracts. So that's why if it performs, they can credit your account. And then the majority of the fund goes into the general fund, but they manage in a very conservative portfolio manner. So they're fine. So that's why I have very due diligence in terms of the strategy. But yeah, I mean, BNP Paribas does amazing. It's done amazing with the 220 participation rate. It's beaten the S&P 500 for the last 20 years with the 220 participation rate, which is pretty amazing. So me as a money manager, as a financial advisor, my thing that I'm constantly looking at is the S&P 500. That is my benchmark. If I can outperform the S&P 500, I'm doing my job. And only 5% of managers, financial advisors, can even say they can do that. Even money managers, mutual fund managers, only 5% can outperform the S&P 500, and that's what everyone's going into index funds, IVV, S&P, SPY, because they're like, why? What's the point of paying a mutual fund manager? Which mutual fund managers are very expensive. 1.5 management fees. Your fees are very high in mutual funds, and a lot of these retirement accounts, they're charging huge fees. You just never see it, but there are management fees embedded in that, and they're not very tax efficient as well too, because of the rollover, because of the churn rate in terms of the trading volume as well. So that's pretty much what I'm passionate about right now at the moment.
Yeah. Also, I think it's important for everyone watching that we kind of give some background on the BNP. So if you want to talk a little bit about the BNP.
Yeah. Okay. BNP Paribas. BNP Paribas is the number 2 biggest bank in Europe behind HSBC. Solid bank, very, very good manager. Never had issues with insolvency. They invest in. It's a very interesting index. They do United States, Japan, I believe Europe. Those are the 3 countries they do. They do different sectors as well. And they rebalance daily this indice. They rebalance it every single day in terms of weighting. So if something does outperforms, they'll rebalance it every single day. And that's something that we can do possibly. There's no way that an individual has the money or the time or the resource of the trading desk to rebalance something on a daily basis. So if now a US equity does really, really well, domestic equity does really well, and international doesn't perform very well, United States or Europe or Japan, they'll rebalance it. They'll continue to rebalance it. So portfolio management is all about asset allocation. It's not about what stocks you pick. It kind of is about what sector you pick. But at the end of the day, when you have asset allocation and you're well balanced, you're going to minimize your downside, and you're going to actually outperform the performance of your alpha because of asset allocation. And that's what we're all about. We're asset allocation managers. I don't know if Japan is going to start to rage and do really well, or Europe comes back because Europe is very cheap, or the United States continues to run as it's been for a long time. But who knows right now? Because right now, stocks in the US are very expensive relative to Europe or to Japan. So really don't know that. Based upon the data, the 5,000 scenarios that they run through Athene, and it's done very well in terms of performance. So yeah, I believe in asset allocation, and I believe in diversification of not just US equity stocks, because majority of Americans are only buying S&P 500. They're doing a 70-30 blend probably, or 80-20. Now that's getting thrown out the door now because of what's going on with the markets right now. Bonds have been rallying. Bonds have been getting destroyed as well at the same time. I mean, bonds are more volatile than stocks now, which is kind of crazy. I mean, you got the 10-year treasury went from like 2 to 4.5. And now it's coming back now to 3.5. And we are in a recession right now because the 2-year interest rate is higher than the 10-year. And once that happens, then that's the bond market's telling you that there's a recession coming. And that happened a while ago. So this is forecasted. I don't know how deep this recession is going to be. I hope not too long, but I'm speaking to a lot of people in Silicon Valley, and a lot of people are getting laid off right now. Yeah. Meta just laid off a ton of people. Google, Amazon. I have a lot of friends with them that have been affected by this. So job offers getting pulled. It's a tough situation, but one, I think, silver lining on getting laid off, like my client got off the phone with, he was able to, roll over his 401k. So now that 400,000 is protected, he doesn't have to worry about the market anymore. He can still participate in the upside, but he's not worrying about it going to like 350 or 320 again, like it did like last year. So it's just kind of like one of those situations with that. Yeah. But yeah, I get the guys. I think really, if you're out there, 433 space right now, me and Mark are doing it right now. Working with a lot of public service employees, municipalities, teachers, work with California, Texas, Colorado. I mean, working with different all across the state. 403Bs is interesting that you're able to like move it while you're still working at their current employer, which is awesome. Because if you're at Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley or Google, your 401k with Vanguard, you can't really move it unless you leave. But teachers, they have the opportunity actually to move it to, I think, 20 or 30 different carriers that do 403Bs. There's probably 20, 30 carriers. And we work with obviously National, which is amazing with all the living benefits and the performance and just the way that we could structure the deal and stuff like that.
Absolutely. They even do a match too, right? They do 5%.
Yeah, they do a match. That's another thing. I'm telling people, like, we're all about matches and getting alpha. It's like, if your current insurance company with your 403B is not giving you any type of match, you're doing it wrong. You should definitely be calling us, set up a call with us, so we can give you a 5% match. And 403Bs can be rolled over, and you still get the 5%. So let's say you have 300,000 in your 403B, you've been there for 20 years, you're gonna get 5% match, and then any contributions for the next 8 years, you will get 5% match on those contributions for 8 years. So that alone is really, really big. That's how you're going to really outperform the market. And I look, and they have really good funds. They have a global fund, they have US equity fund, no caps as well, no cap strategies, and they're great. I mean, so we're working a lot with National, we're doing a lot with Athene, and we like to work with the best. I mean, we have a large portfolio, obviously, we have so many portfolio of 70 portfolio of insurance companies.
Yeah.
Financial, but it's just, we're going to work with the best, but everything's different in terms of what they want, I guess. Some people really want the S&P 500 with a cap. Okay, we're gonna have to go somewhere else with a higher cap if they want that. But I just don't believe in cap strategies. I think it's how insurance companies make a lot of money.